Hey everybody, welcome back to the Royal Word. We got another guest in the building, the homie Lamar. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people right quick.
Man, what's going on, TJ? My name's Lamar. Been knowing TJ for like over about 6 or 7 years now.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
And currently I live in New York City, man. So
All right.
I know that you got a good topic for me today, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, man. So let's talk about the importance of youth sports. Like, do you feel it's important to these today's youth? Do you feel like there's enough access to it? Do you feel like it's what's your opinions on youth sports?
Man, no, you for me, youth sports was something that really helped and changed my life. I have personally have had great experiences with youth sports, and I have also had horrible experiences as well too. But when I think about the great experiences I had with youth sports, it gave me the ability to understand the importance of working together as a team. To understand that, you know what, although I may have done well, or not, another one of my teammates may have done well, if we didn't win the game, it didn't matter at all. I know that we hear the cliche all the time. There's no I in team, but I think that it's so much easier to learn that in a youth sports setting, to be able to understand that it's not all about me and how I perform. But then on the flip side, I've had bad experiences, right, where you have other teams or even a team that I've been on so thirsty and so like have a strong desire to want to win, that they would do it by any means necessary, that they will stretch the age restriction, that they may have a teammate have a wrong birth certificate, all in the name of being able to take a picture with the trophy to be able to say that we won. And that's not how youth sports should be. Like, every kid should have an opportunity to play, as well as just play with your age group, play with in the division you're supposed to play in. So I think youth sports is good overall, but I think that a lot of people have taken the time to really stretch it and make it not so much focus on the team as it is an individual.
Yeah. Do you feel like it's 'cause I know you said like the competitiveness in it and like everybody should play. Do you think it should be like? Cause I know if you really look at it, it's like different levels, like
Right,
between like Y basketball and like AAU basketball.
right.
It's like, do you think that is it okay for like should everybody have a chance to play AAU, or if you really don't want, if you're just looking to play, oh I play, get a little playing time, a little exercise, get your child used to playing ball, is like, or should you be paying that type of money to play AAU where it is more competitive and travel and it means it's a tad bit more.
Right. No, I think every child should be able to play whatever level that they want to play, right?
Hmm.
So, okay, for the child who is really advanced, they won't have it won't benefit them besides their ego to be able to play in the Y League, right? If you know you have a skill set, if you know that you're a beast, you only play in the Y League to make yourself feel better and to be able to dominate on a level that you may not be able to dominate on a higher skill level. I think that individuals who potentially and let's just, for the sake of this conversation, no disrespect to the Y League is probably the lowest on the lowest on the totem pole, right?
Yeah.
Like, anybody can play on the Y League. Like, like if you don't know anything about basketball, if you don't even know how to dribble, you can play on the Y League. And then at the end, like you said earlier, get your participation trophy, right? But even if there's somebody, the kids in the Y League want to play AAU, there's still different tiers of travel basketball, right?
Yeah.
There's still different tournaments that, as a child, if I go to this tournament, that the competition is not going to be as good as if I go to, like, what they call a Peace Jam, or if you do like a Big Shots tournament, or you do, like, travel basketball, right? Um,
Mhm.
so children still have the opportunity to play in a travel on a travel team, but it just won't be as glamorous as you go into Peace Jam, or you go into these other tournaments where their recruiters are looking at you. Now they got the NIL coming into play. You won't get as much publicity in those type of leagues.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Big shout out to I Hoop, homeboy Booth out there doing big things in Northern Virginia and New
Okay.
York. So it's a shout out to him. But you brought up participation trophies. And I had a conversation about this on an old episode. I think it was like episode 19, something like that. Y'all go back, take a look at it. about how I don't believe in participation trophies.
Okay.
What do you feel about participation trophies? I think it sets our youth up for failure in the future.
Okay. I'm gonna pose the question back to you. Okay, you told me that you say you didn't believe in it. Tell me why you didn't believe in it first, and then I'll tell you my answer.
All right, because I believe like just because you play, you shouldn't get rewarded. I mean, rewards are for winners. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, you don't get a pat on the back says, okay, you did good, you lost by 40. Because I know my little cousin, he just started playing basketball, and it's real young, but they don't even keep score. They see
Right.
who won or lost. It's like, I mean, I think it's a validation in winning and losing. Yes, it may hurt self-esteem and stuff like that, but I don't believe that's what sports is here for. I mean, I believe sports is here for to build teamwork, camaraderie, a sense of winning and losing. Because like, if you don't become a gracious loser, you'll never be a gracious winner. You know.
Right.
So that's one of my things.
So I think it all goes back to the levels that we talked about earlier, right? I believe that if I pay my money, right, and I hate to keep picking up, but if I pay my money and we're in the Y League or we're playing Parks and Rec,
Yeah.
right, I think that everybody should get a participation trophy. Like you paid your money, you're probably just playing for it in some type of recreational sense. And it's great to be able to say, you know what, you participated. The trophy may not be as big, but to even have it up there to say, you know what, although we may not have won, I still saw it through completion from the beginning to the end. I still participated. I may not have been as good as the best team, but here's my stone of remembrance. Here's my, my trophy to be able to say, you know what, like I completed that. Like it was hard. I wanted to give up. And here's my proof that I completed it. No, it's not as good as the first team. It's not the MVP trophy, but for me, it shows that I accomplished something. Now, when you start getting into AAU, right? I don't believe in participation trophies, right? If you play AAU, then you understand the significance of what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Compared to if I'm playing rec, just to be able to play my first team sport, to be able to understand how to be able to put myself back and to be able to put my team forward. AAU, you should already understand that. So I don't care if you start playing AAU at 2 years old, no participation trophy. Compared to if you in the Y or you playing Parks and Rec or the local tournament, I think you should get participation trophy. Yeah.
I mean, my thing is like your trophy is like, all right, you did it, you got the jersey. Like, let's say you get to keep the jersey. That's not give you a trophy. Like a trophy, to me, a trophy means more like you won something. You have accomplished more than just completion. It's like I don't. That's just I guess like I said, everybody got differences in opinions.
Right.
It just I know if I ever have some kids, them participation trophies gonna stay right there where they at.
Well, okay. So in that case, you're not a believer in perfect attendance.
I'm a believer. No. I believe. Let me take that back. When I was growing up, I had great attendance in school, but I didn't believe there should be a award for coming to school. Like, hey, you didn't miss a day. Here's a plaque that says you had perfect attendance. You're supposed to come to school. Like you did what you're supposed to do.
Right. Right.
It's like, okay, you had a award for not getting sick. It's like, or you had a award for not missing your parents taking you out of school for some reason like that. It's like,
Right.
what
Right.
is special about doing what you're supposed to do?
Right. Right. No, that I hear what you're saying. I can see both ends of the spectrum. Um, I think that participation again, it all depends on the level that you're playing, right? So like even now, I got a question. If you pay $200, right, and you are in like a rec center league, like 20 teams, you pay $200, you got a full ref, 20-minute halves, the full basketball team at the end of the season. If you all don't win, you're okay with not getting that?
Yeah, I'm like I say, I'm fine with not getting it because like I didn't win. We didn't win. It's like we paid to play. Like that what the money was for, like jerseys or something like that. It's like I'm cool with all right. We ain't win nothing. Let me go hang this jersey up. You know what I'm saying?
See, now you're making me feel bad because the other day I was literally on my computer like, man, I want to run like a 10K or a 5K. But do you know what stopped me from signing up for certain races?
Because you didn't get no medal at the end.
Because at the end, I knew I wasn't going to win. I'm like, I'm not going to pay $60 to just run in a race. and I don't have a medal to be able to like walk around afterwards and go drink beers with the people. Like, no, I was specifically looking for a race that gave me a medal afterwards, just because I wanted to say, oh, look, you see, I did that 10K there. That's my 5K medal. Like, because I know I'm not going to win.
Yeah, we used to do 10Ks and stuff all the time, like especially post pandemic, right? We used to run them all the times, the crew and everything, But like my thing is like, especially we did it as a crew, it's like my reward was like our team shirts, like, oh, we all had shirts or something like that. That's actually where the name Royal Family came from, because it was the name of a team shirt that we did for the Wipeout 5K.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and then like they handed out medals at that one, but only like the first like 200 got medals. So like if you weren't in there, you ain't get no medal. And like I've ran 10Ks that we ain't get no medal, but like you always get like a bib like that tracks your time and stuff and your number. And like that was my proof and recognition. Like, okay, like I'll hang my bib, I'll hang that up. Like I don't need a medal to say, hey, I accomplished this. It's like, you finished.
No, sir. Give me my medal. So if you invite me to a race, you talking about it's $50, $60, $70, I'm gonna say, TJ, are we getting the medal? You're gonna say no, and I'm gonna say, all right, I'll catch you later. I'm not, absolutely not at this age doing that, and I'm not getting no medal. I don't care if they give him bagels and bananas at the end. I don't care if I can get a free picture. If I cannot get a medal after I don't want to do it. Now, if it's basketball, if I'm in a basketball league, that's when I'm like, okay, I'm okay with basketball. Like, it's fine. But if I'm running a race, no, definitely give me a medal.
All right. One more question to pose to this topic of like, especially the whole participation thing, right?
Okay.
All right. Say you at work, right?
Right.
And they handing out bonuses, right?
Okay.
And all year you did just enough not to get fired.
Okay.
Do you think you should get a bonus?
All year I did just enough not to get fired. Do I think I should get the bonus?
It's like you did the bare minimum. You ain't go above and beyond on nothing. You ain't stay late not one day. You ain't do nothing. You did just enough not to get fired. Like you did your job. That was it. You ain't ask no extra questions. You ain't help nobody out.
TJ, I think this is a bad question because I don't think anybody's going to say a bonus equals more money, right?
I'm not saying you wouldn't take it if you got it. I'm saying, do you think you deserved it? Like, do you think you should have got it? Like,
and the bonus is a lump sum of money, right?
Yeah. They just run you an extra check, like extra couple grand. You know what I'm saying?
And I did just enough. I'm gonna say, Dad, I probably don't deserve this for real, but I'm gonna take it. Like,
no, that's what I'm saying. Like, do you feel that you deserve it, or like, or would you feel some type of way if you didn't get it and other people got one?
Gosh, if I did just enough to get by, and they were handing out bonuses, would I be mad? I mean, would I be happy? Yeah, I'd be happy that I got it. And if I didn't get it, would I be mad? Yeah, I would.
But you didn't do nothing to deserve it, though.
But I didn't do enough. I didn't do enough to lose my job either.
So that's the reward. You didn't lose your job.
I give you that.
It's like they did exactly what they paid you to do. You know what I'm saying?
Now, should my bonus be as much as the highest performer in the company? No. Well, you got to give me something. You got to give me something if you're handing out bonuses. That is no. I think anybody would be like, "Dang, okay, I'll still take it." Like,
word. But yeah. So all right. Last thing about this youth sports. What do you feel that most kids like say what's the biggest lesson that people can learn from youth sports?
Oh man, that's a good question, man. I think the biggest thing that children can learn from youth sports, I said it earlier, is the importance of understanding that in life there is nothing that you can do in your life by yourself. Like everybody needs somebody to be able to help. Like I hear people all the time that says, "Oh, I like being by myself. Like I don't care about people. Like I don't need nobody. I can do it on my own." That's not true. Like all of us, like we are wired to have relationships with people, and I think that youth sports is a great opportunity to be able for youth to understand the importance of working together as a team. That in order to accomplish a goal, you may not be in the forefront. Your achievements may not be highlighted, but if you're working together to be able to accomplish a goal, that is a lot more rewarding knowing that you're doing it with a team than it is that you're doing it by yourself, right? That's just for me personally. I value people. I value being in relationships. I value just building with people. The next thing I think as well too is understanding that you don't have all the answers, right? Because a lot of times I've seen youth in sports, and I was even this a child like this as well too, that I thought I knew it, right? Because I watched it. I played 2K. I did crazy tricks in the park, but in the end I didn't know and I didn't see everything that my coaches might have seen in their lifetime. So just being able to like decrease my pride, decrease myself, and decrease what my own selfish ambition um, really helped me to realize that, you know what, I need help. Not only do I need help for the individuals who are on the field or the court or the track or the field with me, right? But I needed help from individuals who were coaching me, who were supposed to be leading me and guiding me. So working together as a team and realizing that you don't have all the answers and putting your pride aside, I think are two valuable lessons that youth can learn within youth sports.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I think one of my biggest things I feel people can learn is roles, like roles they play. It's like not necessarily everybody being an alpha in that area. You know what I'm saying? Like the importance of being, that beta or that sigma in on the team. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
I think that's a great thing. And then also I believe I know youth sports are expensive. Is not That's another thing about being youth sports is how expensive it is. But I truly believe kids should play multiple youth sports, like basketball, football, and also some sort of singular sport like golf or tennis. That because I think you learn something different from each type of sport. You know.
That's true. So for from your experience, right? How has the youth these days not accepted their role within on a certain team? Like how have you seen that how have you seen that affect youth and how they play sports by not accepting who they are? Whether you're like 7 foot, 200 pounds, still trying to be out there like Steph Curry, like, or if you're like, how have you seen that affect youth sports?
I mean, when it comes to, especially when it comes to basketball,
Yeah,
I've seen it change. Like you say, the 7 footer who's like 300 pounds, but being allergic to the paint. Like I
yeah,
seen that even all the way through college. Is like if you don't go down low and dominate these little kids, but yet you out here shooting threes. I think that's kind of how the league has changed. That everybody wants to be that guard
right,
because that guard is the I guess like to me they're like the quarterback. Like everyone wants to be that star player. So
right,
you if you're like a scoring guard, you're gonna get more of that shine because of your position on the court. Like
right.
nobody really likes to go down there and be the Charles Barkley, the average 20 rebounds a game.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
but you may have the body type or physical attributes to do that. People want that shine, which like I say, I think if you have the right coaching and the right mentorship behind that, you can go a lot further by being able to play your role and accepting your role. But like I said, it takes a good coach and a good mentor to get to these kids. And that's another thing. A lot of these coaches aren't coaches. A lot of these coaches are just parents who have nothing else to do. Because I've seen that a lot too, especially like just by watching my little cuz play.
yeah,
It's like they're I know it's hard, especially they're young. They're like 4 and 5. Like
right,
it's hard to coach these kids, but at the same time, like you they I don't know if I'm saying they need more coaches or what it is, but they need more time practicing the fundamentals. You know what I'm saying? It's like if these people don't know how to hold the ball to shoot, don't have them in a shooting line or a layup line. It's like you already missing step 3 and 4,
right,
you
right.
know.
And that's another thing I'm surprised you haven't asked, man. Just like what is the effect of individuals who are coaching youth sports have on what we see now, like in youth sports, what we see now in middle school and high school, AAU, college, like how have you seen it? Have they had a negative effect, a positive effect? I know it's a general statement, but what have you come in contact with the most?
I mean, I've seen it on both sides. Like I've seen you have
Right,
some great coaches out there who's really teaching the fundamentals and teaching like the game, especially in basketball and football, and passing that knowledge down. But I've also seen some bad stuff, where, like you
right,
said, about the fake birth certificates and stuff like that. Like people who really believe if you're not cheating, you're not trying to win. It's like
Right.
it's all about the dub for them.
Yeah.
And like I say, I believe those type of people really need to play in those more competitive leagues like the AAU and stuff like that. Versus, cause you have some of those same coaches in like the as you call it the lower league and the Y leagues trying
Right.
to run these kids who could care less. They're just here for free babysitting, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And even that has my nephew is 5 years old, right? And he likes soccer. He's been playing soccer a lot, right? But then my sister wanted to, as you said, like expose him to different sports. So they signed him up for soccer, and then I think he's doing like martial arts, and then they did basketball, right? When he did basketball, they told me about his experience and how the coach, there was this one kid, he's 5 years old, who literally would not pass the ball. And okay, Lamar, this is a bad example, a youth, right? But I think this is a good, it's a teachable moment. The kid would literally not pass the ball. He would shoot every time he would take the ball out of their hands, and the coach didn't correct the behavior. He just continued to tell him shoot, shoot, shoot without getting the rest of his teammates involved. That moment right there turned my nephew, who's 5 years old, off of basketball, because he's just like, it was not like it was in soccer, right? In soccer,
yeah,
it was a little bit more. Yes, you have beehive soccer, right? All the kids are running to the ball, right? But they still were like taking time to be able to pass it to each other, right? But like that moment, I don't know, like could that moment alter my nephew wanting to play basketball? Because he didn't feel like he was a part of the team. He didn't feel like that he was valued enough to be able to have the same opportunities that this other young boy was taking for himself and not passing. And I think that sucks, right? I think that coaches, I know it's more teams than it probably is coaches and people who have time who are really going to volunteer. But I think that coaches should really take the time to teach properly, and that it's not about how good you look. It's not about if you looking like Steph Curry at this young age and the best TikTok clip, but instead it's about really nurturing and developing the skills of these young people to be able to play the sport or just develop them internally to be able to be productive citizens, right?
yeah. You're right. I agree with you there, like 100%. But like, I know, like in my opinion, I think a lot has to come from the home too. Is like, hey, your coach is going through this, but like at this point, like instead of like, hey, sit your little man down, it's like, hey, I know we're going through this season. This season not gonna be this bad. We're gonna try to get you another team. It's like let's also reinforce it at home. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But because like you said, your kids learn a lot. Like those ages are their minds are so
Right.
moldable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like so like you really have to raise your kids as well. Like you know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
don't. Me personally, is like you may not know nothing about basketball, like but you may but you want your kid to know, so you're depending on this coach.
Right.
But at the same time, you can be like, all right, this don't look right. Let me help him out on the back end. I'm not gonna tell him no X's and O's, but it's
Yeah.
like, hey, this is just a bad situation. Give me a shot. Like, keep your head up, and let's try again next year with a different coach. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
And that's I think when you mentioned earlier about understanding your role on the team, that your coach potentially may have you what's he say 5 hours a week, maybe 5 hours, depends, maybe 3 hours with like
Yeah, it's probably
two
like
practice.
2 or 3 hours a week. Especially
Right.
like the Y leagues. It's like or the rec league. They only practice once a week for an hour.
Correct. So then even if you do AAU, right, you may do 3 practices a week. You may have
Yeah,
a basketball tournament on some weekends. But if you knowing your role just isn't going to come by your coach spending that 5 hours with you per week. Like it's
true.
something that has to be okay. This is what the coach is saying. How can me as an adult and a guardian make sure I'm supporting that and realizing that like you seem real selfish out there right now. Like you seem like you get in the car. How many points did I did? How many blocks did did y'all win the game? I don't care about the game, but like so all that type of stuff. Like it needs to be a common framework, like a common alignment with the coaches, the parents, the family members to realize that it's not all about your success when you're on a team sport. It's
Yeah,
about the team and how well the team is doing.
yeah. I agree with you. Like sometimes the coach need to send some homework home. You know, and help. Because like you said, they don't have enough hours one on one with the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, I played when I did youth sports. and I'll just do high school down, right? I did track and field. I did the mile. I did the 800, the 400, 200, 100, as well as I did high jump and long jump as well. Then I played basketball. I did travel basketball. Then I did cross country. Now I go back to what you said. I wish I would have played soccer. That is the one sport when I was in youth I wish I would have played, but I didn't have. I mean, I didn't have the courage to be able to like I'm going to go on the soccer team, knowing that I've never played soccer before, right? So as I look back, I wish I would have done it and just say, look, let me just try it in high school, let me try it in middle school, but I never had the courage to go out there.
You want to hear a
What?
funny story? When
What?
I was in elementary school, my mom had me in soccer, right? And it was fall league soccer, so it was starting to get cold outside.
Yeah,
So of course I went playing right away. So it was kind of it was brick. I ain't gonna lie, it was cold.
yeah,
So my mom, because she was a teacher, so she taught at the school that was hosting it. So she
yeah,
was inside, like doing some grading papers or something like that.
yeah.
So like mid game, I'm like, it's cold. I walk inside, and like, and she look up. She's like, "What you doing in here?" I'm like, "It's cold out there. I don't want to play no more." Man, and she ain't walk me back out there and sit me on that sideline. It was like, nah, I paid this money, and you can learn to be in this cold like with everybody else.
But that was needed though. So,
Yeah, exactly.
but so what did that build for you internally?
Oh, it built me like it built a little character. Like I may have
Right,
to suffer through different things. It's like not everything's gonna be easy. Not everything's gonna be the way I want it. It taught me at an early age that I can't always have it my way.
right, right.
But so it did build some character there. But it was it was a moment that I was having.
Yeah. So you played. So what sports did you play?
I started out playing soccer. Then I actually didn't even like because I played football with the high school, but I actually didn't play football, youth football. I just played in the street until I got to high school.
Right,
And then I played a little basketball, and we had a church league. I played basketball in church league,
right.
and I started out to play a little baseball, but I was so bad at it that they just told me not to come back. Like I was horrible at baseball. I just didn't have it. That I don't know. I ain't have something whatever it take to play.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but other than
No.
that, a lot of it was just playing in the neighborhood. We had a bunch of neighborhood stuff going on. Yeah.
Yeah. No. No. Baseball is different. Is a completely different type of sport. I never. I couldn't do. Man, I'm gonna be. Football wasn't my thing, man. I did not like. I couldn't. I remember playing. What is it like Madden '04? I think Michael Vick was on the cover. Like I played all the
Yeah.
Madden. Like every time Madden came out, I played. I knew the players. Like I loved it. But man, I was not trying to put no helmet on to get hit. That was not my thing at all. No, sir. No, sir. You was
I
not
mean,
gonna have it out there
foot,
trying to kill myself. No,
football
sir.
is a different animal. Like you gotta have you gotta have you gotta have that switch to play football. To play football well, at least.
No,
You gotta have that switch.
no, I couldn't. I could not. It wasn't my thing at all. Now, so I probably was. I'm probably a better runner, long distance runner than I am basketball.
Mm.
Um, I love basketball. I played basketball my whole life, but I love the run, man. Like now, if I go onto the court, like I'll be a scrubber. Like right now, I haven't run in months. I can go out there and run 3, 4 miles nonstop.
Oh, no.
Like I can. I'm just a born runner. I love to run.
Anyway, that's enough on youth sports. Do you have any topics you want to discuss?
Man, I got one topic to discuss, man. And this one has been on my heart for a while. It's probably not a day that go by I don't mess with Justin
Mm-hmm.
or what those Cowboys gonna look like. I need to know what these Falcons gonna look like. That's my topic of discussion right now. What is TJ? What is them Falcons gonna look like this year?
All I'm gonna say is don't expect too much because we really don't have a great team. But I guarantee you,
I know what you're
we
gonna
will
say.
win. We
I
will
know.
win more games than you think we're gonna win.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say I guarantee that y'all gonna have a top draft pick and come out with a quarterback next year.
That maybe because look, in order look, I'll give you the first 8 games. If we are 3-5,
Right.
the first 8 games, I think they will try to finish the last 8 games strong and try to finish like 8-8, you know what I'm saying, 6 and 10, something like that. But I guarantee we'll have a top. We'll definitely have a top 10 draft pick. I tell you that much.
So you think y'all getting at least 10 wins, 8 to 10 wins?
No, I'm thinking we're gonna get between 6 and 8 wins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So this is another thing. What is your feeling about salary caps in sports? And you, how do you like? Do you believe that all sports should have the same type of salary cap? Should all sports have the same hard cap like the NFL? Do you believe that sports should be like MLB? It is however much money you got, you can spend. Like, what do you think salary cap should be like in sports?
I understand why we have salary caps in sports, but I'm more towards like the how the NBA does it. It's like there is a salary cap, but you can go over it. You just got to pay the tax. So
Right,
for the teams that have more money, you know what I'm saying, and are willing to pay that tax, then all means go for it. It's like the Lakers or like the Celtics, the two story franchises, the best teams in the money wise, like worth billions of dollars. It's like
right,
if they want to spend the money, they have the money to spend it and to stay on top. You know
right,
what I'm saying? But they a lot of them don't spend it because they don't want to spend those taxes. It's like
right,
Golden State was like, nah, we pay the taxes because we're gonna win the championship. It's
right,
like it's worth it. You know, we win rings, so those when you get those rings, it's worth every tax dollar you paid.
right,
But like I said, I understand why they have the cap is to level the playing field across the teams because a lot of these teams don't have the same type of money. Like especially like in football, the Tennessee Titans do not have the same type of money Jerry Jones has with the Cowboys.
right,
You know, so if there wasn't a hard cap, you know what I'm saying, Jerry could pay who he wanted, when he wanted, and no team could compete with that type of money. It's like think about it, the Cowboys the only team who don't have a licensing deal through the NFL. They sell
right,
their own merch.
right. So, but I have a question, right? So you love Norfolk, right?
Yeah, not
And
really. No, I take back. No, I don't. I do not love
so
Norfolk.
where's your ideal place to live?
Ideal place is probably like right outside of Richmond or Fredericksburg, somewhere like that.
All right.
Yeah.
So if you had a job up, if that's the type of place you want to live, right? And you're a top athlete, right? Whatever sport you want to pick, and New York City was offering you 30, 40, 50, 60, 80 million more than the team in Fredericksburg or a team that's like Fredericksburg. Would you go to New York City because of the money? Or would you say, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, like New York City is not my jam. Like the money's good, but I want to be in a place that I'm happy in. Which one would you choose?
Oh, me personally, I'm going for the money. You know why? Because
Right,
I'm not going to set up shop in the place I live in. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
right,
like the place I play sports in. Like if I'm
right,
making 100 mil, right?
right,
I'm going to buy me a nice little luxury apartment and be there 9 months out the year. But I'm going to have my home where I want my home. It's
right.
like if I want my home in Texas because there's no state income tax, I'm going to have a nice ranch in Texas and live my life where I can raise my kids and put them in good schools and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But no, I'm not going to like. It's like if I even if like say nobody wants to live in Minnesota, but
right.
like you know what I'm saying, if Minnesota paying you 120 mil, you best believe I'm gonna show up for practice every day. You
Yeah.
know,
But I guess my thing is this, like I think sports, and let me know if I'm wrong, sports is like the only type of business that I know that puts a salary cap on stuff like that, right? Like if you're a top talent, then you can get a job at Facebook. And all the top talent gets jobs at Facebook. If you are a top engineer, you can get a job at, you know, Twitter or whatever, right? Or whatever type of place. So my thing is, even though that these tech companies or other companies don't have salary caps, they still get quality candidates, right? They still get quality people to be able to ensure that their business is not going under. I don't see no difference in sports, right? I believe that I don't believe that everybody would say, you know what, New York is a spot that I want to go to, especially with how the internet and social media is now. You don't have to technically be in these places to be able to still get money. I mean, look, Pat Mahomes is in Kansas City. His endorsement deals are like lucrative. Like he's making money based off of where he is, right? So I think it's a fear that it's not really relevant. I mean, look at the Yankees. Like, when's the last time the Yankees have won a World Series?
Yeah,
And they were one of the biggest payrolls, right?
yeah. But that's the thing. Like the Yankees are willing to pay the money. Are some of these other sport teams willing to pay the money? Because you have a lot.
But they're
It's like,
different now. The Yankees are different than what they were before. They were just bye 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 bye. Now the Yankees are like, hold up, like let's make business sense. Like let's relax. It's not the same Yankees as they were before.
but is it because they've won enough rings where they can chill and just recoup some of those so-called losses? You
Oh,
know what I'm saying?
I
And then
mean
like,
they got money coming in. I think it's just the leadership, right? I think that when you
okay,
have certain leaders' mindsets are different. I am like for some owners don't care anything about winning. They just care about ensuring that they have that money coming in like that. That their toy,
yeah.
is making some type of profit. I'm not touching the luxury tax at all because everything that comes in, I want to put it back in my pocket.
So is that the player's fault or is that the leadership fault?
That what did they don't want to spend money?
Yeah, it's like so. Like if you're like the top player, it's like, hey, you'll never win in this organization. Do you stay here because your
No,
leadership is never going to spend the money,
no,
or
no,
do
no.
you collect that check because they know they're going to pay you at least?
And if I guess for example, Bradley Bill is a good example of that, right?
Yeah,
He stayed.
but
He,
they paying them though. It's like
he,
that's the only one they're paying.
yeah, but I mean, in the end, I guess I'm saying this like in the end, even with Bradley Bill, he could have went somewhere else and won and
Yeah,
still made buku money, and still he could have went to another the Knicks, the Nets, the Lakers, and been like and still got endorsement deals and probably make way more than he's making in Washington, right?
but no, I don't count endorsement deals as a part of a player's income because that's not what the team is playing
That
you
would
to be
think.
on that court.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying? So
okay.
like Washington, what's DC paying? DC paying Bradville, what was it like 180 million or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think he would got 180 million from any one of these other teams?
Who Bradley Bill?
Yeah.
Man, Miami been dying to get Bradley Bill.
But do you think they could afford? But the way that the league is set up, they couldn't pay them more than Washington could pay him.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So it's like he could go there and be on a championship contending team and take less money, or he could like not work as hard and make more money.
Right. I don't know, man. I guess my mindset is the fact that I don't think it's going to be as crazy as people think it is. I think it's cool to have different balances in different leagues, right? Okay, we know that MLB is paying whatever type of money they want. We know that NBA you can pay whatever type of money you want, but it's coming at a cost. And we know the NFL is like, no, this is what you're going to pay, and you cannot go over. I think it's cool to see all of it, but in the end, I don't. I think with salary caps, I don't think it's fair, man. I think that in the end, that still other stars are still going to develop. And I mean, Golden State is a prime example. They were together what 4 years? They only won 2 championships, right? The same thing with Miami. Miami was together 4 years. They won 2 championships. So it's like, I mean, I think it's harder than people think to be able to assimilate these teams just because there are a bunch of stars on teams that don't guarantee that they're going to win the championship.
Yeah, but do you think it would be easier if it was no rules on we can pay you what you want?
Do I think it'll be easier? What do you mean?
What do you think? Do you think it would be easier to make a better a better how am I trying to say this, a championship quality team when there is no rules on how much you can spend?
Do I think it'll be easier to make
Yeah,
a championship if there are no rules on what you can spend?
yeah,
Probably, yeah.
yeah. Okay, so if it's easier to make a championship caliber team, right, when there are no rules, do you think the teams who have more money could leverage that more than the teams who struggle for money?
I think they could, but it all depends on the owner.
But
And
I don't say it bugs.
they
But
could.
also, but the
They
owner,
could.
even if the owner, okay, so I to me it's like I feel no matter what owner it is, if I'm making Lakers money, I'm willing to spend more than if I'm making let's see the
The
Charlotte
Timberwolves.
Hornets money.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I'm
but
saying?
it all depends on the owner though, TJ. Because the owner makes, again, how do they view the team? Do they care about a championship? They
But
may
no,
not
no,
even
no.
care.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, all right, so say the owner making $100 billion, right?
Right.
One owner making 100 billion, and
Right.
another owner is making 50 billion.
Right.
If I'm, am I more willing to spend $1 billion in salary if I have 100 coming in, or if I
Yeah.
have 50 coming in?
Right. Okay.
You
Makes
know what I'm
sense.
saying?
You're
So it's
100.
like, to
Yeah.
me, I'm more freely like, all right, no matter what, I'm like, that 100 ain't that much of a hit
Yeah.
from 100,
Right.
but 100 is a hit from 50. Like,
Yeah.
you know what
Yeah.
I'm
I get
saying?
it. I get it. I get it. I get it. No, that was my rant. That was my rant. That was my question for you. I I don't agree with the luxury tax in the NBA, especially if you drafted Clay, Curry, Clay, Curry, Draymond, Jordan Poole, Kaminga. If you draft all these players and I still am getting punished if I re-sign them, I don't believe in that.
So one we say it like this was like, there should be an exemption for drafted players under the
100%.
luxury tax.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. For every dollar that you're over, I think you got to technically pay $3 if you're in the
Yeah.
luxury tax.
Mm-hmm.
Why you want me to? You want talent to stay, right? Because you specifically said that your next supermax is going to be more with the team that drafted you.
Yeah.
But then I stay, and now my team's getting punished because I'm doing what you asked me. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't think that there should be a luxury tax for drafted players. LeBron going to Miami, Chris Bosh going to Miami, luxury tax them because
Yeah.
they're not. They wasn't draft there. But like Udonis has them all. No, they should be able to not be including luxury tax.
Yeah. I think the main thing that got people in trouble like that is most people can't draft that well. So most people hit a home run once every 3 to 4 years versus they reload every other year. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That
Yeah.
TJ, that's a completely different conversation.
Yeah. True. True.
We can go down a rabbit hole about drafting. That's yeah.
All right. Yeah. We
Like
look.
playing a lottery.
We will have another discussion about that another time. Like I
Right.
said, this platform ain't really going nowhere. We always come back. We always have to sit down and have another discussion. So let's get into these 5 quick hitter questions right quick. Run
Okay.
through this and wrap this up. So these questions are really stand on what this channel stands on. So just quick questions. You don't really, you know what I'm saying? Just give a little detail. We're not gonna really have to debate them because it could be a little controversial. So
Okay.
first question is, what are your views on gun control?
Gun control, meaning no, I believe that individuals who want guns should be able to get guns. I think that there should be more comprehensive background checks for guns. I believe that individuals who have had criminal history, aggressive criminal history, we should look at them a little harder before they get guns. And I don't think that these companies who are making these ghost guns and these ghost parts, I don't think that they should be allowed to do that. Do I think that people need assault rifles? I don't know. I don't believe that. Um, but yeah, that right there is my stance.
All right, cool. All right, if you had a 5-car garage, what would you fill it with? So you could pick any type of 5 cars, and
Okay.
no, we're not gonna have one garage that's a gym. So like 5 vehicles. It could be motorcycles, trucks, cars, vans, boats.
Okay. I'm an okay car person. I'm not a big one. My first car that's just my favorite. I want a fully loaded black on black, dark tinted windows. This is my favorite car, right? This is my favorite car, a Suburban. That I love Suburbans. The next one will be a Cadillac Escalade. I love those as well too. I'm a truck guy. I'm not a like a sports car type of person. The next one would be a what do you call those Mercedes Benz trucks? I love
Okay.
what do you call it? A G wagon? I think it's called a G
Oh,
wagon.
okay. They got the G wagon. They got like the GL something else, like the GLCs.
Yeah,
Some of the
yeah.
GL something. Yeah.
G wagon. So that's 3. The next one will be some type of motorcycle. I don't know. I don't know any Suzuki, maybe what they call it, Habosas.
Yeah, the big
They don't
body
make those.
motorcycles. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they make those anymore. That's 4. And then my 5th car would be. God, I feel like I gotta give you a good one. I saw a going down the street the other day. It wasn't for me. I would probably say, let's just say a Lamborghini, just for the sake of time. I say a Lamborghini.
All right. Next one. If you had 5 dinner guests, dead or alive, who would you sit down and have dinner and a nice convo with?
Right. If I have 5 dinner guests, um, President Obama is definitely my guy. Like I want to talk to him. Got to go with Steph Curry. That's my guy too. And the third one would be Jay-Z. Those are my three. Those are my 3 guys right there. I
You
like.
got 2 more.
Oh, you said 5. 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Sheesh. This I say this is a good one. I think Harriet Tubman. I would love to talk to her and just see what gave her the courage to be able to do what she did. I think that was really dope. And then my 5th one would be, man, that's a good question. My 5th one would be, um, man, I don't know. My 5th one would be, God, help me out, TJ. I don't know. I don't know who my 5th one would be. Those are the 4 I'll go with right now.
All
I
right.
can't.
All right. Another question. Your 5 top athletes or your 5 favorite athletes across any sport, any platform.
First is Steph Curry. It's my favorite. He is favorite athlete. I I think what Serena Williams. She's an athlete. I really want to put Michael Phelps in there. I feel like what he's done in the pool and swimming, I think is really phenomenal. That's my 3rd one. My 4th one, I'll probably say LeBron James. Like I think he's a physical. He's good. He's done it for so long. And I got one more, right?
Yep.
Uh, Cheryl Swoops.
Okay.
Cheryl Swoops.
WNBA.
Yeah. She was. I remember her. Watching her when I think WA was first getting started. I think it was. Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't. But yeah, Cheryl Swoops. The Comets. I think it was Houston Comets.
Yeah. All right. Last question. If you could do one thing for the community, no matter the funding, no matter what it was, if you could do one thing, what type of program or organization would you start or fund?
I can do one thing for the community. It's a good question. If I can do one thing for the community, I think it would be free access to trainings or courses or schooling for whatever people want to do in life. So if somebody wants to be a doctor, but they just know that they can't afford it, like I want to give them free education to be able to go get that. Somebody wants to be a plumber or a CDL driver, they don't have the money to be able to get started to buy that. There it is. And so with this program, it'll be really cool, right? It'll be individuals can go into the workforce to be able to get the training that they need to be in a job. But as they're going through school and getting there, it has to be certain mile markers. They'll be able to get paid, so they don't have to be able to work while they are getting their degree or getting their education to be able to support their family in the long run.
Word. That sounds good. Real interesting. But anyway, I appreciate you coming on the show, giving us some great convo. Like I said, you're always welcome back. If you ever want to come back, talk about something else, you got your own topic, anything, like I say, welcome back. But all in all, shout out to the fam. Thank you, Royal Fam, for supporting us. Y'all go check out the site, catch your merch. We got jump trays, t-shirts, sweatshirts all up there. 4th quarter drop is coming soon. We got other videos on the channel as well, from cars to guns to a whole bunch of other stuff. So just y'all go out and check that out. Anyway, we out, fam.